back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a different video. It's going to be sort of a life update, letting you all know like how things have been going for me, how I've been adjusting to school, all the new exciting journeys that I've taken on. Other than YouTube, there's two other things that I do now, actually 3 other things that I do now. Just so many things that I want to kind of let you guys know how they're going. So let's see what's different. Well, I went from doing absolutely nothing, being involved as far as going to class is concerned, all the way to being involved so much. I am a sociology major. This means that I study societies, social groups, basically the ways in which humans interact with each other. So it's not scientific or like in that it's biological or psychological, but it's solely based on social interactions and how humans form those, how they continue those or how they discontinue those, why there are inequalities, why people have certain advantages over other people, types of systematic discrimination. So basically my major covers all those types of issues. And I picked this major because I'm just really passionate about equality and equity and just opportunities for all people. And so I wanted to study the reasons that these opportunities don't exist, the reasons why we even have problems, the reason why we have social problems, the reason why we participate in marches, the reasons why people protest, just so many things that go into social activism are all my passions, and so I feel like sociology is the perfect major to do so. My minor is law and public policy, so that means it's a more concrete thing people really understand more when I tell them about my minor. So first we'll be like, oh, your major is sociology, like what are you going to do with that? And then I just kind of add, well, I'm also a law and public policy minor, and people tend to have a better understanding of my interests. So I'm interested in social justice and advocacy from a legal standpoint, how we can use the law to improve the lives of others, what policies we can implement to improve the lives of others, to decrease social inequalities, to improve social justice, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm interested in. The misconception with sociology majors a lot is that we don't do work, or that it's an easy major. Now, depending on your brain and how your brain works, for some people sociology is more difficult than engineering. People think that it's kind of a cop-out major, just a major that's like, oh, it's fun, but you can't really do anything with that. People tend to look at college as going to learn how to make money, not really exploring their passions. It's great if those coincide, but for some, you have to really pick and choose. And so I feel very satisfied with my sociology major, but some misconceptions about it are that, oh, you guys don't do work, like you always have free time, you guys don't have tests. What's true is that I do have very minimal amount of tests. What I mostly do for every exam, every assessment is write a paper. The point of sociology is to be able to take in concepts, learn them, and then see if you can apply them to social settings, to experiences that you've had, that you've seen, research that you've done about a specific social group, about a social issue, how you can apply the concepts and like factors and processes into that, more so than just answering fact-based test questions. Homework that I have as a sociology major consists of straight readings. I'll have some questions to respond to about readings. Those are mostly how my classes all take grades in, but it's mostly based off of readings. And then in class, there's a lot of sociology based on heavy participation grades. And so in class, the way that you know if a person has read or not is if they're actively participating in the discussion, if they ask questions, if they have answers to questions, just that kind of thing is what my professors are looking for. People will say, oh, you don't even have to read for sociology, so you don't really have homework. Well, it's really obvious when you don't read for class, so it's really not, you can't get around that. There's also a lot of being able to explain yourself, explain your opinions, develop thoughts, expand my vocabulary, my mind, the way I think about things. And then I tend to apply what I've learned in my classes just to like my everyday interactions with people. I tend to always be thinking about, I wonder why they act like this, or I wonder, how they grew up and where this type of habit that they have comes from and what their opinion might be on me, or, things like that I'm always constantly thinking about because I'm a sociology major, and those things just really interest me. And so I'm very open-minded to a lot of different ideas and concepts because there are so many different factors within our lives as humans, basically. So that's an update about my major. If anybody was wondering what I am, what I do, if you have more questions about that, feel free to ask me. So on top of being a sociology major, I have 2 jobs. So one job is a work-study job on campus in the sociology office. I really like that job because I get to interact with the professors in my department, so they get to know me on a first name basis outside of the classroom as well. And I have just I can cultivate that relationship with them. So when I need them for something, or they just are more familiar with me. And so I really like that I have the opportunity to work in that office. I also work in the children's center nearby on the weekends, and that's something that kids are kind of like my calm. Some people really hate kids, but like I just find them so interesting, and like from my sociological my mindset, I'm like, I wonder like how you guys have been socialized to do these things, to understand these things that humans do. It's just really interesting to me to work with really small children and like see how they see the world. And so that's also what I enjoy doing. That's also what I do on the side. In addition to my 2 jobs, I am on the executive board for Northeastern Black Student Association. My position is campus liaison. So my most heaviest task for this role would be to be an SGA, Student Government Association representative for Northeastern Black Student Association. So what that means is I'm on the Senate for SGA, and I attend meetings every Monday. Just the regular general SGA meetings, but I'm there as a representative for Northeastern Black Student Association, so that I can relay our concerns to the student government. I can hear what they're saying about whatever's going on and take that back to my constituency. It's important to have a connection between groups on campus, especially minority groups on campus, and the main government, so that we are always constantly in the loop with changes, with adjustments, just anything that happens. Since I have I have something to do almost every night. Monday nights I have SGA. Tuesday is kind of like my free-ish day. Today's Tuesday. I get out of class at 3:15, so I'm not doing anything after Tuesday. Wednesday nights are always NBSA general body meetings. So on Thursday nights we have our executive board meetings. So that those sometimes last until really late. We always have a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss, ideas we want to put on for our meetings coming up. And same with the SGA meetings. Those are always about 2 hours, usually end around 9:15ish. And then I work early in the morning on Saturday mornings. So with all that, I've had to really learn time management. Time management was not something that I've ever called myself good at. I'm just starting to really get the hang of it now, like maybe within this past 2 weeks, honestly, because I've never had that much stuff to do. So time management was not my biggest issue because I just had time. You don't really have to manage your time as much when you have time to do things, but when you start to run out of time to do things is when you have to really take a step back and start to manage your time. So for instance, the most basic thing ever that literally saves my life, on my wall I broke down my schedule day by day with the times so that I can look at it when I wake up in the morning and know where I'm going. So like, it's just like the most basic thing. I just wrote down where I have to be and when, but since it's like right by my bed, I just look up and there it is. Or right at my desk, I'll just look up and there it is. Because sometimes I just forget what day it is, where I have to do that day, what I have to do that night, or just when I want to like see, okay, when will I have time to get this homework assignment done? I look up my calendar, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I can do this that day. So just that alone, like I didn't think it would be that helpful, but it helped so much. So I would suggest that just putting your schedule in a visual place that you can see it, so that when you need to do something, when you're working on something, you're like, oh yeah, this date I'm free at this time, I can totally come, I can make that appointment. Just things like that are just so helpful to not have to flip through your book and like, what time do I get out of class that day? What time am I done with this that day? Because sometimes you just forget things. I also, on Tuesdays when I have a longer period of free time from 3:15 for the rest of the night, I can do a lot of homework during this time period. And when I was making my schedule for the fall semester, I made sure to include at least a day like this where I have sufficient amount of free time and no meetings that day. And then also between classes, except for Fridays, but every other day between classes I have at least 1 hour of a break, just in case I need to finish something, for food time, if I'm super tired, I need to take a quick nap. But I made sure that between my classes I have at least 1 hour, and that's constant on all days except for Friday, where I have 3 classes back to back. How that ended up happening, it's kind of unfortunate. Friday's like Friday, but I'm like, Friday I have 3 classes back to back to back, and that's so much, because like in high school, you know, sure, that's like nothing, but in college it's just like the most. It's manageable, like it's fine. It's just not the most ideal, but it's okay. I'll live. And then YouTube. So like people are like, oh my god, this is so cool, but you're not going to be able to keep up with YouTube once school starts. And at first I'm like really nervous, because I'm like, dang, am I gonna have time for that? Like all the stuff I have to do, when will I make YouTube videos? And I kind of just had to make it a priority on my own. I don't have set filming days, I don't have set filming hours. I just have moments where this is a perfect opportunity to film, let me just go ahead and do a couple of videos now. And so that's something that has not been stressing me out, hasn't been causing any extra anxiety to my schedule. It's kind of something that I really like doing anyway, so it makes me feel calm in general. So it's like a relaxation after classes, come back home and make a YouTube video, do some editing, and put out some content. It makes me feel kind of productive, so that's a plus for me. And when I say these things out loud, it doesn't sound like that much that I do to me, because like people do way more than me. I don't think of myself as doing the most. I have friends who do way more than me, who work way longer hours than me. So like relatively, I'm not doing all that much. I thought at first, like fear was telling me it would be an overwhelming feeling, like a feeling like I wouldn't be able to handle it. So my anxiety would creep in, you know, I get stressed. I feel like I'm under so much pressure. And so far, if anything, I've just been feeling more, not refreshed, but more productive than I usually would. And when you have something to do, you just feel like you have more of a purpose on earth. So I found that that's the kind of person I am. I wouldn't think of myself as liking to do many things, but surprisingly, I think that I'm into this. I mean, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you guys have anything you want me to do a video on or explain more, let me know. But other than that, thanks so much for watching, and stick around for more videos. Bye!